The battle today will be between the Emperor's Children and the Drukhari, which the Drukhari birthed Slaanesh, so we're out for some vengeance to get rid of this craziness that we caused. Whoopsie daisies, shame on us. Drazar is the Warlord for the Drukhari with Hatred Eternal. Demon Prince is the Warlord for the Emperor's Children, and we just talked about him as well. He has the Flawless Duellist, and which I don't enjoy that because apparently he gets to remove D3 attacks from me in combat, which is, he just needs to die. And the Rapacious Talons. So that's that. We'll be back in just a minute. Welcome to the forces of the Drukhari. Let's take a look here. This is actually going to be a Drukhari Ynnari list. So I have the majority in a battalion that is Yanari. And the Ynnari are kind of fun. They do some trippy little things. Have a few fun things up their sleeves, so I'll go over this. It's mostly Ynnari on the left side, and then I've got some Coven here on the right side. I'm actually going to start with the Coven because Drazar is on the Coven patrol, and he is the Warlord. He has Hatred Eternal, so he rerolls all failed wounds in combat. Then you have the Homunculus over here. He has the Vexator Mask, and I think that was it, Scissor Hands, so no extra Warlord traits or any of that jazz. You got the typical 5-man squad of racks, 1 Hex Rifle in there. They are pretty much just there to either be bodyguards or to score secondaries. I've got a 9-man squad of Incubi. I've enjoyed running 9 Incubi with Drazar and a Raider lately. The Incubi are with the Ynnari. So I will be able to do a few things with them, strength from death bonuses happen, things like that. According to what I was reading in the codex, they will still get the +1 to wound benefit from Drazar. So I put all those guys into a Raider, and then it's my little party bus. So they're over here because of Drazar being on this side, but they're technically in the Ynnari, even though they're mercenaries and get no true alliance or allegiance with anyone. Then I've got my 3 Talos, Haywire Blasters, Macro Scalpels. I just really like to run these guys as a unit of 3, and this whole Coven is Prophets of Flesh, so 4 Pinball saves. It just gives me a little durability, a little punchy, little combat kind of kick. Then over here, we have the Yanari. So I have an Archon here. The Archon is, for 1 CP, granted a Warlord trait from the Ynnari Codex. So they have, I believe it's called the Walker of Many Paths is the name of the trait. It lets you regen command points that I spend on a 5-up, not my opponent's. He also has the Lost Shroud, which reduces all damage by half, rounding up, and gets a 5-up Feel No Pain. So he's a little bit tougher, a little beefier. He has a blast pistol and just a good old-fashioned husk blade. For the troops, this is a battalion, so I have, Archon. I have 5 Incubi. They're not Incubi, they wish they were. 5 Cabalite Warriors. There's a Shredder in there for the special weapon. We've got 2 squads of Witches. They have a Shardnet, an Impaler in each squad, and each of the Hecatrix has the Agonizer and Blast Pistol. I actually don't have the correct model with her. She's this Hecatrix, but she's missing her Agonizer. I have to go dig that up. I have it somewhere, but it is what it is. And then I also have 5 Reaver Jet Bikes. These guys have the +1 toughness, so they're T5. This squad of Witches here has +1 attack. This squad is +1 strength. Then I have heavy support, 2 Reapers. I really enjoy running the Reapers either in Cabal or in Ynnari because you can get the reroll ones to hit from the Archon. And it has proven to be pretty effective. Yes, they hurt a lot when they're in Dark Techno, but when they're already Strength 8 with -4, it doesn't seem to be the most beneficial to me. It can be really spicy to take down really big units, but I've found them to be better at just kind of cleaning up random units of Terminators, things like that, or at least helping with that. So I like to keep running them this way. Rerolling ones is always nice. For my transports, I have 2 Venoms. I'm actually running these with the dual Splinter Cannons, even though they're modeled with a Splinter Rifle. I don't have the actual Splinter Cannons, but I like to run them this way, and I've been playtesting with the rules just to give them the Splinter Cannons instead of rifles for the extra AP and extra damage. It's kind of fun. I use the correct rules, but I like to roll the dice to see how much better they would be. one raider with a disintegrator cannon, and last but not least, this is the fun stuff for me, the Incarn. I love bringing the Incarn. I know that that's a lot of points, and I can bring a lot of other things just for those points. But the Incarn in every game I've played lately, even if it doesn't kill its points worth, it tends to disrupt the opponent's plans so much that it makes itself back in points. So that's it. That's my list. It comes out to 1999 points. Rather frustrating, but it's not the end of the world. So Ynnari with a little Drukhari Coven thrown in there for the good times. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this. I'm going to be playing against Emperor's Children, and you'll see that list coming up in just a minute. Here we are, Emperor's Children, and oh my, we have Noise Marines coming out the wazoo, and I have never faced Noise Marines. I am pretty excited about this. Wesley has graciously agreed to come back and play me again, just not with the Gene Stealers today. So we're going to go through this. We'll start with the easy stuff because I know them. These are possessed.
Yep.
That's a greater possessed. There's 9 of them, 1 of him. Conveniently, they all fit inside this rhino. We'll turn it around. I just realized it was facing the other way. So there you go. That's easy. I know that stuff. I know these guys. Obliterators. Good times. We have a Demon Prince. He is the Warlord, and he has the Faultless Duellist, and upgraded Talons to Rapacious Talon. Is that right?
Okay. The Demon weapon.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I'm hoping he rolls a lot of 1s. That's my wish. We've got a Sorcerer on bike. Yes, it's a legend, but guess what? It's just like the coolest model because it's a custom bike. It just looks amazing. So we're going to use it. We don't care. He has Demon Prince has Prescience. He has
Diabolic Agonies,
Delightful Agonies.
Diabolic Strength.
Yeah, that's right.
With the Relic of the Fatal Sonancy.
So he gets a nice flamer upgrade, essentially. Yeah. Then we've got an Aspiring Champion. Hellbrute, I know what those are. We've got a bike squad, another custom bike in here. Pretty awesome models going around. And then we come to Danger Death. This is 20, yes, that's right, 20 Noise Marines. 18 of them, you said, have the
Sonic Blaster.
The Sonic Blaster, which is the 3 shots of pop. Then the other
2 have Master Blasters in the back corner.
Oh, in the back corner. Okay, yeah, that's right, the longer barrel gun. It's not okay. It's just not okay. Then we have a little 5-man squad of Noise Marines. These guys are kind of standard. You got 1 dude with a chainsword. You got 1 Master Blaster, and looks like just pistols.
A couple
of bolt guns in there. And the icon, which, doesn't matter against myself. And then we've got a larger blob here. This is a group of melee Noise Marines, which I didn't even realize was a thing until today. Wesley's paid the combat drug for them to have +1 attack. So apparently if I don't kill them before they get to me, there's going to be 55 attacks. And I don't know what to say about that. Very fun stuff. So they're chainswords, and then the leader dude in the back has this really cool backpack with speakers on it, and that's like a flamer, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, so gonna be some fun stuff. And yes, Noise Marines shoot you when they die. Yes, they all have pistols, and these guys just have big guns, so I don't know what to say about all that. This is gonna be interesting indeed. So that is it. This is his 2,000 points of Emperor's Children. I almost just called them all Noise Marines. Emperor's Children. So we will be back in a little bit. We'll get the deployment, we'll do the table, and we'll let you know what the mission's going to be. Ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived. This is gonna be terrifying. We decided we'd play Open War, which is where you pick cards. Here's our deployment zone. Mr. Wesley won the roll-off, and he chose this nice, big, fat deployment zone for all his stuff that wants to get in and kill me real fast. So I'm stuck on the opposite side with the red triangles. Then we rolled the objective. This is hilarious. We're gonna maybe score 2 points. Is probably what's going to happen. Whoever wins will win by a point, I'm going to guess. The way this one works, there's going to be an objective in the center, which we don't have on the board yet, but that's beside the point. Because every turn, or every battle round, we roll off, and the winner gets to move the objective 2d6 inches. You don't score points until the beginning of the 3rd battle round. So we're going to move it for 2 turns. Then the 3rd turn, somebody's going to move it again, and somebody will be able to score 1 point 1 point for holding it. That, if you're doing the quick math, means you get 3 turns to potentially score 1 point, and whoever holds it at the end of the battle can get 2 points if somebody holds it at the end of the battle. So that's going to be crazy. Totally changes what I normally do with my Drukhari. So good times. And then our twist. This one is kind of nifty. When making an attack against the closest enemy unit, reroll a wound roll of 1. So we'll get a free reroll for wounding, which is nice. And then here's our deployment. Wesley has Obliterators and Deep Strike, and everything else is on the board. So we've got some Noise Marines over here. We've got a Rhino full of Possessed. Yay. Demon Prince, Aspiring Champion. Combat-oriented Noise Marines up here at the very point. And we've got all the shooty-shoot Noise Marines. We've got the Bikes and the Sorcerer and the Hellbrute over here. Yeah, this is crazy. While we're walking around to the Drukhari side, I have to show off that I've received... Whoops, my camera's going crazy. I've received my terrain from Gamemat.eu, and I'm very excited about it. We've got the Fallout Zone set. It comes painted. The craters are not part of that, but it comes pre-painted. It's resin. It's very nice, very pretty. The little barricades are from them as well, and I like them a lot. So very cool set. I'm going to be getting some game mats pretty soon and fleshing this out a little more. So that is my little plug there for Gamemat.eu. And now for my deployment. I've got Reaver jet bikes on this side. I figured I might as well. It's hard to decide what to do. I'm matching them up against his bikes on the other side. So Reaver jet bikes, Diabolic warriors, Archon. Got a Reaper back here. I did some measuring to make sure I'd have at least one Reaper that wouldn't die to Noise Marine craziness if he chose to shoot at the Reapers. He's got some other things to shoot at, so I don't know what he's going to go for first. The Raider, the Incarn, is within range to potentially deny the Demon Prince. We'll see, deny the Witch. I don't even know who's going first. Then we've got the other Reaper here, all within 6 inches of the Archon, so we'll get the reroll 1s to hit. So that's on that side. And then, look, nobody can deploy in the center. It's so frustrating. It's so weird. He's way up there, I'm way back here. But again, it's also weird. I don't want to engage on all fronts. I don't want to be close to him. I want to shoot him before he gets to me. So, whatever. Then on this side of the board is mostly going to be the Coven, Prophets of Flesh. So Vexator Mask, my Talos, got my racks over here. I don't know, like I could have literally just castled everything on one side of the board, but in my head, that's not how you play the game. So this might hurt me, and it might not, I have no idea. And then I've got my 2 Venoms. These both have squads of witches inside. And that is it. So we're facing off against noisy goodness over here. This is going to be such a wild game. So we'll go ahead and roll off. I'll let you roll first, sir, and see what you get. Oh, he's rolled a 4. Come on, don't fail me now. Oh, it's a 5. I'm so happy. I've never been more happy to get first turn. This is a relief. We'll be back in a minute with Drukhari Ynnari turn 1 summary. The end of the Drukhari turn 1 is upon us. No points to report because it's open war. There won't be any points for a while. Moved back to screen a little bit here with the racks. I moved up with the Talos and Mr. Vexator Mask to be in range of, hello, the Rhino. I did a bunch of wounds on it, but I didn't kill it, so he's got 3 left. My Venoms moved forwards just enough to be in rapid fire range of these boys, and we managed to kill 2 of them. This squad in the middle, I shot with Reaper, Diabolic Warriors, Disintegrator Cannon, and I killed 5, but they did not fail morale. You'll notice that this objective marker moved a whopping 3 inches closer to Wesley because he won that roll-off. And I went for a gamble over here with my Reaver jet bikes. We went ahead and charged. Well, we shot other stuff, and then we shot the bikes over here. Killed 1.5 with the Reavers. Charged into these guys, survived the Overwatch, and then Mr. Demon Prince, silly shenanigans. I could have gone that way. I didn't even realize. He had a 6-inch heroic intervention with a stratagem, so that's on me. He came in and did the business and killed everybody. The Noise Marines didn't even get to hit. No, their loss. Hellbrute died. Ha ha ha. So my Reaper killed the Hellbrute. Cavalite Warriors did some pot shots into the Noise Marines, didn't really do anything, and that's it. That's the end of the turn. It's really funny. So we'll do movements, and we will fight over the objective marker again, and then we'll be back for the Noise Marines and the Emperor's Children. I just want to call it a Noise Marine army for the Emperor's Children for their turn 1. So it's very interesting. I hope I'm playing this remotely close to how I should be, because I don't really know what to do when I'm not supposed to target and charge and like get into combat with things and tie them up, because it doesn't do me any good except for losing units like I did there. Really wanted a jet bike to be alive, at least one, so those guys wouldn't be able to shoot, but it didn't work out. And I left the card there so you could see I did try lightning fast reactions, which didn't make a difference. Mr. Demon Prince hitting on 3s, he hit me all the times anyways, so I mean, I gave it a go. So there you have it. That is the end of Drukhari turn 1. We'll be back in a minute for Emperor's Children turn 1. Well, the Emperor's Children have struck back, and they've struck back pretty decently. Over here, I lost my Cavalite Warriors. I lost my Reaper. I am very proud of my Reaper because he did survive the Noise Marines all the way through 1 round of shooting, and he had 1 wound left, so when he endless cacophonied, he had to at least devote a majority of resources to killing that silly Reaper, and then he just had his 2 Master Blasters, I think, just wiped out the Cavalites. They'd already been shot by bolters over here, but that's not the point. He got close. They're here. That died. It did not actually explode, but it is gone, and so are my Cavalites. Back here, the Aspiring Champion didn't have enough room to get around to make the charge, but the Noise Marines here charged. The Greater Possessed is still standing in the field screaming at his little friends, who have been greatly reduced. There's 1 of them left, and I did go ahead and spend for lightning fast reactions on the Talos, and it helped a whole lot. I also spent lightning fast on the Reaper that died, and I think it helped over there as well. Maybe it did something. So that's kind of what this whole mess right here is looking like. Tied up some things that I didn't really need to have tied up, and yeah, he's doing the business over there. So he's stuck. This Rhino has moved forward a little bit, and then these guys shuffled forward and shot into the Wounded Venom and did not injure it this time. What else? The Sorcerer over here, he kind of shuffled out, so he is exposed. However, he also was out of denial range, and it ended up not mattering. We had a very bad psychic phase. It was pretty rough. So that's all we're going to say about that. Nobody perilled, so that was good. I think that's it. So that's the end of the turn. So the next thing we'll do is we'll roll off. We'll move this objective, whoever wins that. And we'll be back in just a minute for turn 2. And of course, still no points scored. It's so funny. It's so we keep saying like I don't know what to do. Like I want to go here. I want to do that. I want to do this. But that's not how you play this mission. You try to stay alive longer. Anywho, there you have it. So that's the end of the battle round, turn 1. Drukhari Ynnari, turn 2 has come to a close. It took almost everything I had on the side of the board to shoot that 1 possessed guy and kill him, but I did eventually. I paid 2 command points to fall back and shoot for Cruel Deception. I got 1 of them back, and I used those 2 again on Black Cornucopians, so they left the racks. Shot all the way across the board to that edge, and then failed their charge. And I lost 2 to Overwatch. So, yay. In the middle, the Raider with my Incubi party came forward to about here, then made the charge into the Aspiring Champion fellow here. We did some wounding back and forth, and he lost a wound, I lost 2. So that's that. My Reaper and the Archon shuffled around, so the Archon wasn't closest, and shot and killed the Sorcerer back there. And over here, the Incarn said, why yes, I would like to come visit, and visited with the Demon Prince and killed the Demon Prince, piled into the bikes, and took a wound for my efforts there. And this menace is still unmolested. I'm really aggravated. The rat charge was like my best chance to really stop that shooting mess, but I didn't pull it off. It's down here in combat. The Talos killed the last of the Noise Marines from this squad. And I did take 2 wounds from an overcharged plasma pistol on death from the Noise Marine Sergeant, so that was fun for him. Monculus is there. These guys moved up. The witches are still embarked. Let me see. One witch with her blast pistol, the Hecatrix, killed the Greater Possessed, was that guy over there. And then the rest of the poison shots whiffed on this guy. It was 8 poison pistols from witches that just bounced off that guy. It was pretty bad. And over here, the Talos split fire. 2 Talos killed the Rhino. The last Talos killed the one possessed guy that was down there that eluded all the rest of the shooting. And then these shots were from the Venoms and killed all but one of these Noise Marines over here. So that is the end of the story for my turn. It does look a little dark for the Emperor's children right now, but there's still a lot of things on the board and a lot of death coming from over there. And the whole point of this is to survive into turn 3 to be able to hold this objective, which I won the roll off and I moved it. I got 7-inch roll, so it's actually downstairs in the bottom of this corner building, but we put it up on the top so we'd be able to see it. This building is hollow all the way back inside there. So it's down there inside, out of line of sight. It's a good place to hold an objective if you can get there. So that's where we sit. That is the end of the turn. I used all my command points. I'm at 0. Wesley still has 1, so he's going to go up to 2. So I don't know what kind of shenanigans that will give him, but he has some things up his sleeve and obliterators that are coming into the table here in a moment. So that's going to be painful for me. So we'll be back in a minute with Emperor's Children, turn 2. Emperor's Children turn 2 has come to a close, and so has the battle round. Over here, not a whole lot happened. We have a very brave Noise Marine in a building. Yes, I don't blame him, really, because, what else are you going to do? Over on this side, the Obliterators have landed, and they tried to obliterate my Reaper. They did not, but they did take 5 wounds off of it, so that's something. These guys fell back, which, as you know, means that my Incarn was then exposed. And these guys came forward to say hello. They did a lot of shoesting. Took it down to 2 wounds remaining. Then Endless Cacophonied and killed it, but only by... I had 2 wounds left and 3 went through. And 3 that I didn't save. So, and I didn't get the Feel No Pains, but it was that close. Like, it actually almost did. And he would have been really mad because the Incarn's done that to Wesley before. Mm-hmm. He did shoot into my racks as well. So the 2 guys with the Master Blasters. Yeah, I wanted to say it and I thought that sounds funny because it reminds me of a toy. But it was. Shot over here and killed 2 more racks. But they are still there. That one dude who is now diminished in numbers enough that I don't know what to do with him. And that was it. So he killed the Incarn. He's damaged the Reaper. We did some combat here in the middle, and it was kind of comical. We did some back and forths, except this time my 2 hits that went in didn't wound, so we didn't trade. It wasn't fair. It's not fair. And that's it. Yeah, we're coming into battle round 3. We're going to move this here objective one more time, and now it's going to be worth points for whoever can hold it. So now there's something else to play for in the game. It's kind of crazy. And it's really weird. It's really weird. So, we'll be back in a minute with, Drukhari, turn 3 coming up. Well, looky this. I won the roll-off for the objective, and I moved it 8 inches over here, so it sat under my Venoms. I moved my Venoms forward just to get my Witches in range to shoot the 1 Noise Marine back here. So it was 12 shots, plus another 8 shots from all of those poison weapons, and we finally got him. But guess what? He had 13 saves to make, and he failed 1. He only failed 1. So if he'd been a 2-wound Marine, like everybody else in the world now, except for the Grey Knights, he would still be alive, and it would have been kind of comical. But as it stands, he did die. I got a whole point because I was on the objective and I controlled it. That was very exciting. That was the first one to score a point. Over here, the Talos did come down and we did some mulching and killed Obliterators. This combat keeps on going and I keep losing it. So I'm down to 4 wounds now and I still didn't hurt him. Might not have even swung with him yet, but it doesn't matter much. My Archon and my Reaper shot and killed the bikes because if we'd shot into the Noise Marines, then they would have turned around and shot into my Incubi or Drazar who had gotten out of the transport and come over here. As it stands, I forgot that Wesley had no command points. I was going to throw my 1 rack into them to take Overwatch. If he chose to Overwatch, he probably would have Overwatched with the Obliterators instead. But as it was, it didn't matter. So we came in and spent the 1 command point I got to reroll wounds against Ynnari. Slaanesh, sorry, against Ynnari. I am Ynnari. And we killed them to a man with my 9 Incubi. So that was a big swing. And then they said, "We'll shoot Drazar," and he saved his the shots they put into him, and that was it. So Wesley has conceded, but obviously that makes sense. He has a whole aspiring champion left on the board, which could go over and fight witches and stuff. But I have a lot of witches, and I don't think that would. I mean, being that it's a 1 point per turn thing, I don't know that it would actually last long enough because they shoot in combat, all those things. So and 4-up saves. So that's how it played out, and up until the very end of this turn, seemed like it was a pretty close back and forth game. So that was it. That was the end of the game. It's 1 point to 0, and thank you for playing. I had a really good time. It was a lot of fun. Really wild to play the whole open war. You don't ever know what you're gonna get. This is probably one of the most interesting missions I've ever pulled up on open war. So I appreciate you coming out, bringing the Emperor's Children. They're very, very fun. And any other thoughts from you before we wrap it up?
Games Workshop, lower the prices. Noise greens.
You make them better.
Yes.
Give them another wound, make them cheaper. Yeah.
About 4 points cheaper, and that extra wound, then they'd be golden. But
Yeah. It would be an entirely different game.
that being said, right now, they're just still kids with daddy issues.
There you go. That is true. That is very true. Well, hope you enjoyed it. It's been another Kitchen Table Wargaming Battle Report, and hopefully you'll join us again for another one soon.